think if I wasn't the first, but I'd be this leader and I'd be this strong person that I am today. I think my very, very, very first boyfriend I had in matric.
I think my first relationship was I was 16.
In like good relationships, I don't know how to relax.
That's one unfair advantage. You also know that I served a 2-year church mission. You're learning how to put your heart on your ears as you listen to people, and just really
Mm.
listen with compassion, with love, with concern.
You used to host movie nights, phakahoqa usuze uzivalele erumini yakho. Sana idibene prince nini idibane frog. Oh.
The angels bow down at the thought of you. The darkness gives way to the light for you. The price that you pay gives us life brand new. Hosanna forever, we worship you. Hosanna forever, we worship you.
Hey, friends! Oh, you didn't get
Hey,
me?
friends!
So yeah, Bush and I have been spending the past 5 minutes trying to decide how we're going to start this. Okay, this is our very first sort of podcast, video podcast type thing. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me, my friend.
Thank you for having me, friend. Jonga uphazamile. We didn't spend 5 minutes. We spent over an hour trying to figure out the settings, trying to figure out the lighting, the connection. There, it's yeah. I thought I'm a
Yeah.
Gen Z, but after these technological difficulties, I don't know. Hey, I really
Listen, it's
don't know,
humbling.
Asand.
It's humbling. Okay, so just for everyone watching at home, Buhle Jack is joining me, and we're going to be having a conversation on the theme of unemployment generally, and maybe particularly graduate unemployment. I don't know. We'll see how where the conversation sort of takes us. But yeah, Jack. Before we begin, please let us know, who are you? Who is Buhle Jack?
Well, you know me as Buhle. A lot of people know me as Siphokazi. So whichever suits your fancy, I don't mind. But I prefer the second one because I
Yeah.
mean I think it describes me better. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
Siphokazi Buhle Jack.
Mm,
I am currently in East London. I actually grew up in the Eastern Cape. I was in East London for quite the longest time of my life. I was born and bred in East
mm,
London. Did my
mm,
primary high school here. Went to Rhodes.
mm,
Actually, that's where Lung and I met. We met at Rhodes. Did my undergrad studies that side and came back here to be at home.
mm,
And I've been at home since 2019. I am the
mm,
firstborn out of four. Um, it's me. I've got two sisters coming behind me, and then I've got my little
mm,
brother. I come from a
mm,
loving home. I
mm,
love God. I'm definitely 100% Christian. I
mm.
love dancing. I'm actually good at public speaking as well, and also I am in love with theater, performing the arts. I think you could probably figure that out, but yeah, that's essentially who I am.
Oh wow, you are definitely an eclectic combination of a whole lot of things. Okay, so my friend, actually, so we were talking this week, and I mentioned to you that I'm super glad we became friends in varsity, but I actually don't remember how we became friends. Do you remember?
Sana, do I remember? I don't actually.
Nah.
I Oh God, I know. I used to live in Oriel, which was the campus. Then I moved uphill. I think
Yeah.
that's when it started. Friends. But how exactly we met, I don't remember. Asanda, I
Nah.
don't. I
Nah.
don't. But I know you used to host in movie nights. Phakahoqa usuze uzivalele erumini yakho. Um,
That's how I know we're friends. That's how I know we're friends. Oh my goodness. During the people, Jack.
Guys, he would invite us kwakhe Friday sihlale singxengxe sibukele imovie. Athi umnyango ulungagqiba atsho ngesithonga somsuzokazi. We'd have to reach the window to
Oh man.
the people must know your true character. They must know the real
Eish.
you.
Eish. They mustn't just know this finance guy. They must also know that other guy that farts, huh?
They know the goofy side, the Msuzo side. They must know the real you. Now I love it personally.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so friend, you mentioned that you were the firstborn in your family. Talk us through that. How was it like navigating life as a firstborn?
Um, you know, the first 4 years of my life were amazing before I had siblings. I mean, not to say it's not amazing now, but like I think
Mm,
I didn't return the attention. Yeah, well. So I think
mm,
when my came, I don't remember, but I think as any little toddler, you feel territorial to your parents. Like I used to this attention, and now it's going to the other kids.
mm,
But I think as I grew, I being the firstborn made me a natural leader. I
mm.
was constantly care of my siblings, constantly looking out for them. I remember in high school, one of my sisters was actually being bullied. I went to the bully and I told him his stories. I didn't care what trouble I was going to be in, but I told him where to get off. So naturally,
Wow.
I stand up
Mm,
for my siblings, and I have the
mm,
caring leadership role that I
mm,
must all times, which is good
mm,
actually to some extent because throughout my life
mm,
I've always made my parents proud, and
mm,
also the fact that I've got siblings abaza emva kwam, so that they must see bakwenziwa njani. Your parents always make
mm,
example about Johannesburg 10, Johannesburg 10, so now you naturally want to make your parents proud, you want to make your siblings proud. Like in high school, I didn't do anything. I didn't drink. I wasn't with boys. I was focused. Like I was a focused type, which was great because, I was sort of a star in high school. Academically, I was good,
mm,
shining. It was good. But I think,
mm,
you know, on the flip side, it did
mm,
bring things, a certain level of having to compete with their sister,
mm,
which is not good because I mean, as abantwana, you're not going to be gifted in the same way. Abantu are gifted in different,
mm,
and when you're constantly being compared to your older sister, I mean, it's good as motivation.
mm,
Our as do you want to be your own person, and mhlawumbe you might not live up to indlela osiphokaza ayiyo, which might kill or
mm,
might confidence. Yeah, well, so yes, it
mm,
was. But at the same time, I felt as though my siblings were constantly having to live up to this Uspokazi, who was, this amazing person, and they,
mm,
being their own, were not given their
mm,
to be their own fully. Yeah, but because they've constantly been
mm,
big sis wabo, you know.
mm,
Uh,
mm,
yeah, so I mean, it was great. I learn, and I am learning a lot of qualities. I am very
mm,
responsible. But I think I even see it now, even in my like just relationships in general. I don't know. Some A friend of mine actually said to me the other day, she was like, "Girl, you don't know."
mm.
No, it was actually you. Remember, and then you took me to
Yeah.
shop. You bought me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Like, friend, like, relax, like, calm down. Because now I'm always like, okay, can I
Mm.
kakhulu, and I'm carrying the trolley, and I'm always like, okay, no, Chomi Duru lane, okay, if I'm taking this, let me not take your card.
Mm.
You're like, to me, like, relax, I got you, like, calm down, let me
Mm.
whatever you
Mm.
want. And you say something to me, and I'm like, yo, you're like, you do not know how to relax. You've never had some
Mm.
because you've always been the leader. Yeah, well, and I took that
Yeah.
in relationships. In like good relationships, I don't know how to relax and let someone take the lead in
Mm,
a sense. And
mm,
I say this, I'm like, you answer well, my next relationship, just to be in my feminine area, because I've always had to
mm,
be responsible one, the one who's, taking care of it. And
mm.
next, where when they're with their men, their brain just shut down. I just want to shut down. Like I think
Ne?
that's what I want, you know. Um, so yeah, to cut a long story short, rather, I think it was good.
Mm,
Good. I'm
mm,
definitely a person. At the same time,
mm,
you always have to be the responsible person, and sometimes you don't
mm,
have someone to lead you or to guide you or to be that person for you. So you have to figure it
mm,
out. You know. So
mm,
yeah,
mm.
the advantage of it.
Oh wow, that's very insightful, and I think you sharing that actually helps me understand my older sister a bit better, and I guess some of the pressures that she had to sort of navigate through as an older sibling. Because I take your point once again, like your siblings that came after you, there was sort of that pressure to live up to big sis, because she set the example. But I think that also meant a whole lot of pressure on you to be the one to set
Mm.
the example, to be the one to forego getting together with boys and drinking and the parties in high school. So how was that? Was that like pressure for you? Now, looking back in retrospect, did that seem like pressure, or do you see it as, what made me being a firstborn is what made me into this responsible person, this person who can assume leadership. So, like, what's your take on it? Like, how do you look at it?
I mean, I think the saying that says everything happens for a reason is really true because I'm never
Mm,
not want to be a firstborn. I think I've
mm,
taken a lot of lessons and the indlela endiyiyo ngoku is because of being a firstborn. I don't think if I wasn't the firstborn, I'd be this leader and I'd be this strong person that I am today.
mm,
On the other hand, though, I think it did deprive me of some of the little childhood things that one would do. Um,
mm,
I mean, the little like parties here and there, the boys, whatever. I must say, I was a
mm.
very late bloomer. I think my very, very, very first boyfriend I had in matric. So
Wow. Wow. I thought I was a late bloomer.
no friend.
Yo. No, but I was actually just behind you because I think my first relationship I was 16. Yeah, so I think I was in grade 10. That is my
Mm,
first relationship.
mm, mm.
Yeah, yeah.
I think a lot of people then are having their second or third boyfriends and uqalayo. Yeah,
Some are
so
having
I mean,
babies.
right? Like I always say to my friends, I'm like, I'm shocked. The stories my sisters tell me, I'm like, we are living a different It's either we live in a different generation, like times are moving, or I was a late bloomer because the
Mm,
indebeni zenza mina sendikudala bona sekudala gqitha because I'm like, yo, wow, hectic. Yeah, well.
mm,
But I mean, I think to sum it up, um, it made me who I am today, definitely.
mm,
It gave me
mm,
all the qualities that I have today, maybe the strong person who I am today, this leader, etc.
mm,
But at the same time, I think I am a little bit of a late bloomer. Umzekelo,
mm,
when you are a big sister to ama 2000, ezinye izinto
mm,
awukwazi urelate xa ubungagqithanga kuzo wena because you find yourself that you have a judge. And had you also gone through that, you have sympathy and empathy, you understand better
mm,
when you can't, you're almost judgmental in a sense,
mm,
because you haven't been through it, Kanti mhlambi had I
mm,
been through, okay, no, do this, do that. I've also been through this, been through that. So you find that as new experiences, I hadn't been through them. I couldn't really relate. And I couldn't really, advise properly or like have a conversation because it's always just like, oh no, but you should have. Why didn't you? Can't when you've been through certain years or certain teenage experiences, you'd be like, ah, dude, it happens. Yeah, bo. And I think I'm finding I was actually thinking about this the other day. I'm like, no, man, now that I'm older and I've experienced certain things, I'm less judgmental. You understand. You've been through them, you understand. And it's like this has been through something, you will never, ever truly understand that person. And to judge. So in as much as yes, I was a late bloomer, I don't regret it. And I think now style or my personality is getting a bit more relaxed in terms of my relating to my siblings, etc. Because I've been through like all of the things now, so that I know I'm like, oh, okay.
So I'm actually just wondering. So this is you blooming in your grade 12 year. Like, and yes, and I imagine blooming at that year because it's like we are Kabelisi High School, but then it's also the next phase of your life in varsity. Take us through that. How was that for you, going from being a late bloomer in high school, transitioning into varsity?
Interestingly, the transition for me was not that different. Obviously, there was an adjustment because Dandy Puma Entry. Chami, can we mix? Stop.
Fag at home. Fag.
Thank you. So when you sit again, I mean, it be adjustment again because ndandisuka endlini. I come from home to a varsity, so I mean, there's a sense of independence. I'm living alone. There's no parents, etc. But I think what makes me say that it wasn't a big adjustment to a certain extent was the fact that I have friends who were very church orientated, books orientated, and very focused, which was essentially or is essentially who I am at nature. So first year and a half, 2 years of my varsity experience, I didn't really have a big adjustment because different exams as a Puma from classes, we come back home, we have a study session, Fridays we at Sal, Sundays, first service, later on we also have a second service. So like you change, you go partying, boys, whatever. I didn't experience that because the circle of friends that I had at the it was very, grounded, very focused, very church orientated, book orientated, etc. So yes, there was an adjustment in terms of I did have the freedom. If I wanted to, I could, but because I had friends that were surrounding me and they were keeping me grounded and we didn't do much that was out of the ordinary, I didn't feel much of a difference in my life because that was who I am in high school. That so kind of a big culture shock. I mean, Rhodes definitely it's known for its big drinking culture, but because like I said, I had a circle of friends who just wasn't into all of that. Now get the time coming from being that angel, I guess. I mean it didn't shift much. I think when I started being socializing more and going out a little bit more was probably end of my second year, going on to third year. That's the third year I moved hill. I moved from my friends that were down campus. I moved uphill, so I wasn't as close to them. So people started going out more, etc., etc. But yeah, I think then even with me going out here and there, it wasn't really a full blown. Now every night I'm going out to drinking. It was just like a here and there, casually, etc. Like nothing out of the ordinary. Your lifestyle has changed. Even properly dating after that grade 12 experience, I think it was actually post varsity. Actually, after I left, that was when I had my actual first real proper relationship. Um, you know, and I've actually never been with someone from varsity. I mean, it was small nyana here and there. I mean, hi, bye, chitty chat.
Mm,
But the
mm.
real relationship was post varsity.
Post varsity. Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh wow. Oh, okay. I actually didn't know this about you. No, like I mean obviously we've had conversations before, but the fact that the real like relationship was post varsity, I thought there was like a significant one in varsity, but clearly that wasn't like wow. Wow. I'm learning about you in this interview. So in this chat, this conversation, whatever we're calling it.
Namhlanje ndizishuma akhumbula ndithi kuwe there was a time siphume ejibini ndithi khandifunela umntu nangoku nditsho kuwe khandifunela umntu uyayibona i-pattern of life ayitshintshi khandithandazela my friend.
But in the next time, iyadlala, Jackie. Like, of course, like, back when there's some moments where, you know, you're not in a relationship with Shumanekile. But, like, I was like, it's a phase, you know? It's not like, oh, you know, it's been like 3, 4 years where you haven't been in like a stable relationship. Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool. And wow. Okay, so this conversation is becoming about dating now. But hey, you know, we might as well go down.
Bring it
You
back.
know, I was actually gonna say let's go down that path, but um, so as you were speaking, I actually had a flashback. I remembered how you and I met. I think we were sitting in a psychology lecture in the front row. It was you, Usino, a mutual friend of ours, and you were sitting right next to Usino, and we were just very chatty. I think I initially spoke with you, and then we sort of roped Usino into the conversation, and we sort of like I don't know, we our energies vibed, and from
Mm,
there, that's when we said. So it was from first year actually.
psych. Yes, I did do psychology in first year. You're right. I was probably a chatterbox,
Yeah,
but
you've
yeah.
always been a chatterbox. You've always been a chatterbox. Always, always.
Please don't act like you are quite chat house. You're not quite you chat house yourself. Also, you are here. Ula. But I think with you, I mean, I think what I appreciate, especially with our friendship, okay,
Yeah.
David, I well said the conversation is going in a different direction, but just allow me to say this.
Let's
Like, I think
let's
with
go. Let's go. Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you, and this is something I always say. Like, I think every chance I get, I'm like, friend, you have such substance in your friendship. Like, it's not even one of those like, hey, I met you in varsity and we lost ties up in Sabuela and whatever. Like, I think even the conversation
Mm.
we have, I think that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons I fell in love. But I fell in love with you as a friend. Come on, you go move, go up. I think that's one of the reasons that I think I liked you so much is the fact that um
Mm.
and we joked, we unsuzele Romania yakho, we chatted here and there, etc. But I think you hold such depth within your friendship. Like even the conversations that we have, you always want to find out. I mean, yes, we chat here and there, whatever. And they always be like, friend, how are you? Like, how are things going? How
Mm.
are you feeling about this? Okay, friend, if you don't like this, what makes you think like why are you feeling like this? Okay, friend, if you're feeling like this, ucuma isuka phi? Like you have such
Mm.
depth and you care so deeply and you
Mm.
are so involved in this friendship. And I think you bring an element of emotional safety. Like I am safe every time I speak to you. I know that my feelings are heard and whatever I say
Mm.
to be myself, and I find a safe space to be myself and to say things the way that they are, and they will be well received
Mm.
with care, and they'll be well received. And you also, you know, are so great in building one's confidence because you know you what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Gama. Oh, affirm. Yes. Uh,
Hey, big English, huh? Ay, affirm, affirm.
yes. I mean, you affirm me so much, and you always say, "But friend, you know this. This is you." I like undetected ongayazi. I'm like, yeah, I do know this,
Mm,
but to hear this, it warms my heart to give me so much confidence.
mm,
So friend, like again, I really, really, really do appreciate you.
mm,
Um, you hold a very dear place in my heart. I love our
mm,
friendship, not only, the jokes that we do, but the fact that we have such depth in the friendship. And I appreciate
mm,
that you hold a safe space for me. And like I said, you hold a safe space for my feelings to be heard and to be understood, not to be
mm,
judged, but to
mm,
feel and to feel that whatever I'm feeling or whatever I am in life, it's valid. So I really
mm.
like that about you. I think you should have been psychologist, but anyway, because you always want to get into the core as to why.
Ne,
Okay, friend,
mm.
wanje utheni kugowo. Okay, nje so zintoni ezingafama are the reasons that you are like it's so beautiful. I love
Mm,
it.
mm.
Yeah.
Yo, that warms my heart. Thank you so much, friend. Thank you for those kind words. I must quickly say this though. I do have an unfair advantage in how I show up in my friendships because so straight after high school, I worked for this. I worked for a counseling NGO. So obviously that comes with a lot of like training that grows you in terms of like your emotional intelligence. So obviously like I'm gonna be a bit more perceptive than the average person in terms of being in tune with the emotions of the people around me and the people that I care about. So that's one unfair advantage. You also know that I served a 2-year church mission, and
Yes.
that's literally all you do. Like you're talking to people, you're getting to know people's concerns, you are you're learning how to put your heart on your ears as you listen to people, and just really
Mm,
listen with compassion, with love, with concern, with an attitude of non-judgmentalism, and just genuinely learning to be genuinely concerned about people. So
mm,
um, I think
mm,
you experienced me right in the peak of that because it was formerly Lifeline, now called Masitete, and then it was Mission. So obviously, like those attributes are sharpened by Mission, by Masitete, and then it was straight from Mission, boom, into university, and that's when we
mm,
met first year.
mm,
So
mm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm grateful that you experienced our friendship in that way, and I also experienced our friendship in that way. Like it's, well, I appreciate that with you. I don't have to try too hard. Like I don't have to be anything other than what I am. Um,
Mm.
I appreciate that about you. Like you create a space where I can be my authentic self, the full expression of who I am, and you can handle all of that in the same way that hopefully I can handle, because you go from here to like, ooh, yeah, which is high, high, high energy. Like you go from calm to like, ah, yeah. So yeah, no, it's been a beautiful friendship, so thank you so much.
Welcome. I was actually having a conversation with I was having a dinner with a few friends yesterday, and there was this
Yeah,
group of guys, and we had a conversation, and one of them said, which is why I disagreed with him so much. He said,
yeah,
guys, when you're friends with a male, when you're friends with a guy, you guys are
yeah,
only friends until one of you says so. Given the chance,
yeah,
your male friends would want to get with you. And I'm like, guys, no, that is not true. I have
yeah,
male friends where it is purely platonic and we love each other so much and there's so much depth. And akho kwanto itheni.
yeah,
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 yeah, but I think
yeah,
it know about guys, there are, in as much as you have a relationship with your friend, even with males, yeah, fine. Like, it
Mm,
doesn't, we don't have to buy space, funana, etc., whatever. Or even if that was the case, okay, whatever. But the point is, there are um, different sex friendships which are purely platonic and
platonic.
you know, are great value. I mean, I think you and I are a perfect and living example of that.
I quickly wanted to chip in and give like my honest thoughts on what your guy friends were saying about how 90% of all guys given the chance, blah 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 blah. I won't lie. I do think as a guy as well, I have found it to be true that at least 90% of the time, I don't agree with 100% of the time, but 90% of the time, I have seen that to be true. However, what that fails to take into account, so umzekelo mna, I grew up with two sisters. I've got no brothers. I'm the only boy at home. I've got a sister that's 4 years older than me, a sister that's 8 years younger than me. So I relate, I understand how women think. I relate better to females. I still got my
Mm,
homeboys, and I can, we can connect, we relate, but I just happen to understand females better, and I happen to connect with them better. And what that means is that I tend to have a circle of female friends. No agendas, genuinely, like nothing. Like I've never looked at Buhle Jack and been like, oh, Buhle. No, yeah, well, it's just like, oh, Jack is
mm,
my friend. It's completely platonic. It's completely
mm,
platonic. I understand how it is that I connect and relate better with females than I do with males. It's because I grew up with sisters. I understand how sisters think. I understand how women are wired, and also know how to relate to them without sexualizing a female. So like, yeah, without seeing someone as, oh, I can. This is the end goal. This is what I can have by being with this individual. So
mm.
yeah, it's one of those things where to each their own.
To each their own. Also, you you're about 90% of men given the chance. I think I also agree to tell you.
Mm.
Because a guy was speaking to me yesterday, he's like, guys, Nina material, you'll never see when a guy wants you. Okay, I'm not that we born,
Mm.
but that you can see kind of as phone and not
Mm.
necessarily really see it. Some you can see it here and there. But as a man, you know when you want a person. You because you're a guy
Yeah,
too. So since I
yeah.
he's thank you, whatever. But this is what I do as well.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
I quicker than what we might have because we're just like, wait, he's just being nice. And also, I don't really see like that, especially if I don't see like that. It's like, wait, friend. Kanti
Yeah,
ayazi umfana uba ungena friend. Uyabo? Ungena ngala friend.
yeah.
Oh,
Ungena ngala friend.
ngala friend. Ungena ngala friend. Yabo? I'm so surprised. Like we've been friends since what 2018? It's 2024 now. How have you been like friendship? Because one thing about me, ne, there are lots of friendships. That's one thing I have figured out. And cause
Yeah.
but good friendships. I shame their last. Look at you and I. In my indonle, that makes a friendship yet to last.
I must come sitting ngabo. Ngabo, they are the problem.
Ne? I also think so.
Ne? Oh, okay. Mna ndiyayibona le conversation uba izawuphela isithini. Uyayibona lena izaba yi-two-part series le. Part one, i-theme yakhona is relationships, platonic versus romantic. That's part one. That's the
Yeah.
theme. Yeah, yeah. That's what it organically went. That's where it organically went.
Literally just went it off.
Which is beautiful. That's actually how I wanted it to progress. Just like to have a couple of themes in mind, but then obviously as we have the conversation, to just talk the way we normally talk, just engage, and then have the themes sort of emerge from the conversation. and then we can
Yeah.
do different things with it. On that note, do you have any final words on relationships? Tense.
Njengoba ndifuna utshata mna ngoku ndidike finish yonke lamahlande enyuka imijolo nabafana abasileyo hananana ase ndifumene love of my life yam nditshate qha finish. Because what is this now? What is this?
Hey, go to Anta, you have to kiss 1,000, don't 1,000 frogs before you get to your prince.
Ndakabawa ndikhise kunini ndikhisa ii-frogs ndakabakreleka ngapha yi-frog ndijike ngapha yi-frog hayi frog. No. Shame.
Oh man. Hi. Yeah,
But
no. Hey,
ke
Chavam.
yeah,
Qina, Chomi. Eventually, like, yeah. If it's something that you want, I do firmly believe that God is always a way of so good desires there too. And eventually, like, it'll all come together. Maybe not in the way that
yeah,
you
all in
imagine,
good time.
maybe all in good time.
It has to,
But the
right?
key is to just continue the way you've been continuing. Just to be happy with yourself, be happy as single as you are, and then Umtu will come into your happiness. So it must not be with that person, getting a person will make you happy. It's like I'm already happy. And if it so happens that I find someone to come into my world, then it'll just amplify what's already there.
Look at you. Always has something smart to say.
But I'm
Wow.
always this is me. This is
It's
me.
always
The-
you.
Always me. Akondwinja. Hello, Dabaji.
Sana, you little smarty pants. Always have a smart little quote to bring up. Huh? Where do you pull them up in your gyms? Always have just something smart. You
Okay, we're past the hour mark in Goku. I do think I have a limit of about an hour, maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes. But I
oh,
do
okay.
just want to quickly ask, please, we have to do a second interview where we
We
focus
do.
on the second theme.
We do.
Ne?
We
I'm on Leanda, we stick on business, but I also like just how relaxed this was. We should do this with just that other theme where we talk about unemployment, and this was fun.
yeah,
It was a learning experience for me as well. So I really appreciate you having like jumped on the call with me and agreeing to do this. It's a whole hour of your time. Actually, it's longer than an hour. I think we've been at this for like close to 2 hours. So I really appreciate you giving me so much time and helping me to figure things out and helping me with the channel. And hopefully, our conversation is somehow going to have an impact on someone out there watching.
definitely, my friend. Anytime, my friend. Thank you for having me. I had a blast. Yeah, definitely. I will be more than happy to come back for part 2, for part 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 20.